This is the Asian century. How many times have we been told that? But Asia is not some united entity. It's a massive continent of almost 50 countries. So the Asian age could also be the age of competition. China won the first 2 decades. It became the engine of global economic growth. But can India win the coming decades? A new report says yes, India can.
Let's face it, India's so-called self-reliance has become nothing more than a hollow buzzword, a farce that conceals the country's alarming dependence on China. Yes, you heard that right. While the Indian government and media proudly tout their ability to manufacture smartphones, solar panels, and medicine, the hard truth is that these products would not exist without Chinese imports. Think about the irony. India is being groomed as the West center to China's global manufacturing dominance, but it can't even manufacture its goods without China's help. I want to know how bad it gets. Keep watching. Welcome to today's video, where we'll break down how India's growing dependence on China isn't just an inconvenient truth, it's a full-blown crisis that undermines U.S. trade strategy and raises uncomfortable questions for anyone betting on India as an alternative to China. Stay with us until the end to uncover the shocking details. The mirage of self-reliance. Let's begin with what Indian officials like to call Atmanirbhar Bharat, or the push for self-reliance. The idea is noble, but when we pull back the curtain, we find that India's economy is shackled to Chinese imports, particularly in the sectors it's supposedly dominating: electronics, pharmaceuticals, solar energy, and even automobiles. According to trade figures, India's imports from China have been growing at twice the pace of overall imports, with Chinese goods now accounting for nearly 1/3 of India's total imports. Can you imagine trying to build a self-reliant economy while importing 1/3 of your goods from the country you're supposedly trying to replace?
India could replace China as the driver of global growth. And when could that happen? As soon as 2028. Now, just to be clear, this does not mean that India's GDP will overtake China's in the next 4 years. It means India's contribution to global growth will be higher than China's in this period. Basically, India will become the growth engine. And what is driving this change? Well, broadly, 2 factors: China's fall and India's rise. As simple as that. Look at this new report by ratings agency Fitch. They have downgraded their outlook on China. It was stable before, now it's negative. And why is that? Because debt is rising and growth is slowing. In 2019, China's debt was 38% of its GDP, but now it's almost 50%, 56% rather. And by the end of this year, it could be 61%. At the same time, growth is falling. China grew by just 5.4% last year, and this year the projection is 4.6%. So the Chinese economy is losing momentum. Meanwhile, India is gaining it. The Indian economy is projected to grow by 7% this year, and don't forget the political headwinds. Many suppliers are moving out of China. They're scared of crackdowns and sanctions. And India is gaining from this.
The electronics industry, the ugly dependency. India's electronics sector is a prime example of this hypocrisy. From smartphones to circuit boards, nearly 2/3 of electronic components imported into India come from, you guessed it, China, and the volume of these imports has tripled in the past 5 years. What's even more telling is that while Indian companies assemble products, the core components that make these products function still come from some. So the next time you hear about Made in India electronics, remember that the guts of these devices are stamped Made in China. Pharmaceuticals. A bitter pill to swallow. If you thought electronics were bad, let's talk about pharmaceuticals. India has long prided itself on being a global pharmacy, exporting life-saving drugs to the world, especially the US, but here's the catch. The ingredients that go into many of these drugs come from China. Over the past 15 years. China's share in India's chemical and pharmaceutical imports has grown by more than 50%. Even for something as basic as paracetamol, India turns to China. How can we call India a pharmaceutical powerhouse when its very ability to produce drugs depends on Chinese imports? Solar energy, a glaring contradiction. India's solar industry tells a similarly troubling story. On paper, India is making significant strides in producing solar panels, but dig a little deeper, and you'll find that over half of the essential components like solar cells, wafers, and modules come from, you guessed it, China. Even as India ramps up its solar exports to the US, it does so on the back of Chinese imports. So while the US tries to reduce its dependence on China for solar materials, it's merely rerouting those dependencies through India. The irony is rich, isn't it? The auto industry, success or subservience? India's automobile industry is often touted as a success story both for domestic and export sales. But once again, the facade crumbles under scrutiny. India has been increasing its imports of vehicle parts and accessories from, you guessed it, China, while India assembles the cars. The crucial components are shipped in from across the border. If this sounds like a broken record, that's because it is. India's economic growth in sector after sector is propped up by Chinese inputs, making the entire narrative of self-reliance a convenient myth. The role of the U.S. in India's dependency. This rising dependency on China serves as a stark reality check for U.S. policymakers. Over the past few years, American businesses have looked toward India as a new manufacturing hub to hedge out against disruptions in Chinese supply chains, whether due to geopolitical tensions or another pandemic. However, this dream of shifting supply chains away from China is more fantasy than reality. As Sriparna Pathak, an expert on India-China relations, points out, unless India can stop relying on Chinese imports for components, it will never become a viable alternative to China. The U.S.'s efforts to de-risk supply chains might just be wishful thinking. Indian government's dilemma, friend or foe. Even though India tries to distance itself from China, especially after the 2020 border clashes that left soldiers dead on both sides, it's becoming clear that the two countries are economically inseparable. For India to fully develop its manufacturing sector, it not only needs China's goods, but also its expertise. Indian businesses have been pushing for the government to loosen restrictions on visas for Chinese technicians to come in and teach Indians how to operate Chinese machinery. Let that sink in. India wants to compete with China, but still relies on Chinese workers to train its workforce. Talk about a paradox.
And what will this money produce? Roads, highways, railways, airports, seaports, waterways. Things that will multiply economic growth. Better roads equal faster trade. Faster trade equals time saved, and time saved is money made. Another factor that works in India's favor is federalism. Indian states love to compete. Sometimes that competition can turn hateful and toxic, but in the long run, it can also help. It pushes each state government to do better than the other. Again, data supports this. 8 Indian states are expected to become trillion-dollar economies by 2048. What does that mean? These states will have a GDP of $1 trillion each. Now, to put that in context, India's current GDP is $3.3 trillion. Now, some states are hoping to touch $1 trillion on their own. And which are these 8 states? Maharashtra, Gujarat and Karnataka are expected to reach first by around 2040. Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh will follow. Of course, this is a projection. It requires consistent and rapid growth to achieve this. But compare it to China. Forget adding to the growth, local governments are dragging China down. If you add all this together, the takeaway is quite clear. India is poised to replace China, to become the engine of global growth. And I know it sounds great, but it's also important to not be complacent because challenges still remain. One of them is investor confidence, not in the stock market because that's booming, but in Indian startups. A new report says India's unicorn count has dropped. A unicorn is a startup valued at more than $1 billion. Since 2017, India has only added unicorns. But now the opposite is happening. India's unicorn count fell in 2024. The country has only 67 unicorns left. But that's not the most worrying part. More than 130 unicorns were founded by Indians. But they set up these companies outside India. And that should raise questions. Why did they not set up shop in India?
A reluctant shift. Can India truly diversify? Some Indian analysts, like Pankaj Mohindra of the India Cellular Electronics Association, believe that India needs to lean into its relationship with China for at least another 5 years to build itself up as a true alternative to Chinese manufacturing. In other words, the only way to reduce reliance on China is by relying on China even more. It's a catch-22 that India is unwilling or unable to break out of despite its ambitions. The U.S.-India partnership built on fragile foundations. Senior Biden administration officials have admitted that the idea of entirely excluding China from American supply chains isn't realistic right now. Instead, they've taken a more practical view, focusing on diversifying parts of the supply chain where it's possible today. But the reality remains, without Chinese components, the U.S. and India's hopes of building an alternative manufacturing base are nothing more than a pipe dream. So where does this leave us? India's growing reliance on China not only undermines its economic aspirations, but also throws a wrench into U.S. trade strategy. While India dreams of becoming a global manufacturing giant, its feet remain shackled to Chinese imports. Until India can stand on its own 2 feet without leaning on China's crutches, all the talk of self-reliance and diversification will remain just that talk. If you found this breakdown as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and stay tuned for more insights into the global economic web we're all tangled in.